Hello, SynGAP land. My name is Michael Graglia. This is episode 106 of SynGAP 10, your 10-minute weekly briefing on everything you need to know about SynGAP 1. Today is Tuesday, June 6th, and it's been a stupid amount of time since I've done one of these, and I do apologize for that. It has been very, very busy in my life. As you can see, there's moving boxes behind me. I won't even show you the rest of the house, but it looks like a train wreck. We are going back and forth between old house and new house. We're moving like an hour north from here. But that means new school districts, new camps, new everything, and life is insane. So my sincere apologies. I have good news and bad news. Bad news, things have been crazy, and I have not had a lot of time to do a lot of SRF work. Good news, SRF is still cranking on all cylinders. Grants are going out, funds are being raised, meetings are happening. I occasionally squeeze in meetings that I have to do that are important things. And it's really exciting to think that what 5 years ago started with me and Ashley and like one advisor thinking we're just going to write some checks and, fun little work with Huganier and whatever, has turned into something where I can have my whole life just be taken over by a move. And yet the machine continues to function to make the future better for our kids. I'm really proud of that. I don't do a lot of patting myself on the back on this podcast, but I'm really proud of what we've started and created with SRF because the machine is working. I saw slides the other day from Poland where SRF was on the screen at the Polish meeting. I'm going to tell you a bunch of things that are going on, but this matters, right? You can't make any of these organizations, it's a one-person show. Like STXBP1 is a better world because Charlene's in it, but the organization of the STXBP1 Foundation with Melissa and everybody else works without Charlene. Like same thing for Nasha Fitter and Fox G1. Nasha is a force of nature and personally contributes significantly to Fox G1. But there's a whole organization there with Nicole and all the other parents and all the organizations, and their CFO is a great guy. And boom, that's what we're building here. We're building something that is bigger than any one of us so that we can all have permission to go live our lives a little bit and come back and know that the SRF community is making the future better for our kids. This really, really matters, you guys. I'm glad. Anyway, let me jump in and just thank a few people. So Blane Dallen and Melissa Oakely up in Canada have together raised over $10,000 in two different events, and they're going to fund some research in Canada. So I'm really excited to see the Canadian families get engaged and support SRF work. And then in Canada, they're raising the money through our partner up there, Overcome SynGAP. Bunch of tax reasons for that, but super exciting. Congratulations to Blane and Melissa. And then, of course, our very own Ashley Fry did her own event, the SynGAP Paddle Slap in where do they live? Oxford, Mississippi. And she raised over $23,000 with a very small spend. She had pretty much everything donated. They had a pickleball thing. 120 people came to a crawfish boil. There's an article about it in the show notes. Amazing, amazing. This is what we need to do, guys. Everybody just needs to do their own thing in their own town. You want a brand and a thing, come and do Sprint for SynGAP. You want to make up your own paddle slap, whatever, in Oxford, Mississippi, do that too. But do something. Raise awareness. Let people in the community know about SynGAP. Let them know about your loved one. And raise some money for this research that will benefit all of our kids. Incredible work. Speaking of press, Minnie Zhu had an article that ran in the Chicago Tribune. I will share that link in the show notes. That's important because and Minnie says this in the article, so I'm not saying anything that she has shared with me. In the early days, Minnie was a little bit reluctant to have her name out there. And as she says in the article, there's a whole thing with like Chinese culture, and I don't know if I want, what's going on here. And then she says, no, I've realized that I need to talk about my daughter. I need to talk about this disease. I need to raise awareness for this. And I think that's true of a lot of cultures, frankly. I have seen... I don't mean to just say Minnie's Chinese and therefore, no. A lot of different cultures, people of color and a lot of different white cultures, frankly, very reluctant to say, my child has this disability. Like, what does this mean for our family? What does this mean for our community? Blah, blah, blah. You just got to get out there and say it, guys. You got to get, well, where were they in the past? They were hidden. They were locked up in rooms. They were in the back. They were in the basement. Kids like ours didn't see the light of day. That's not okay. Part of what we're doing is making the future better for our kids with medicines. And part of what we're doing is teaching the whole rest of the world that kids like ours exist and they got to make room for them. a lot of work. Huge congratulations to Minnie for that article, for sharing her story, and for talking about it. It's a beautifully written article. Whoever the journalist is, I don't have their name right now. Great work. Loved it. I want to thank Vicky and Paulina. Remember what I said? SRF is growing. We're all over the world. We're literally all over the world. So Vicky is a mom, Paulina is a sister, and they went to a conference of neurologists in Mexico, and they had a SynGAP booth, and they talked about SRF, and they talked about SynGAP 1, and now these neurologists are seeing our patients. That's super important. Great work, guys. Thanks for taking time out of your lives, flying all the way down to Chihuahua and going to that meeting. It's a ton of work. These meetings are exhausting. You come back to your room at the end of the day and you're like, oh. And you start replaying all these conversations you had and you start making lists of things you need to do, and then you fall asleep in your bed. I mean, they're fun. It's great to see people. It's great to learn things, but they're also a ton of work. So thanks to Vicky and Paulina for that. And Vicky has just been tireless on expanding SRF into the Hispanic community and the Latin American community. She's got 2 blogs on our webpage that are in Spanish. I want to make a point here. Our webpage, Google Translate, magic of the internet, everything can be translated into any language. Like if somebody living far, far away who speaks whatever random language wants to read about SynGAP, the top of our webpage probably has that random language and they can learn about SynGAP. But there are some blogs, and so for a while we were like, we have to translate everything to Spanish. We're like, no, it's too much work. We'll just use Google. But there are some blogs that are first language Spanish. But guess what? If you want to read what she says, guess what our website can do? It can translate that back into English for you. So super cool website. And we work hard to make beautiful content. And then we have ensured through tech wizardry that this is available to anyone on earth. Anyone on earth. It's amazing. Hey, there's some studies. So in the previous episode 105, if you're watching this, just stop watching it. If you haven't watched 105, watch that one first. You should sign up for that study if you're anywhere near Philadelphia. Very important study going on at CHOP. I'm not going to belabor it. I talked about it ad nauseum. There's also 2 surveys at Cornell right now. Actually, it's 1 survey, but we have it in 2 languages. Thank you, Vicky. 1 in English, 1 in Spanish. If you're in the U.S., this study is for you. It's a very quick survey, a couple minutes. Tell us your preferences. There's a paper that a medical student's going to write about, capturing the needs of and the priorities of families. There's a similar study going on at Rutgers. It's not bad to have multiples of these things. Different independent researchers asking very similar questions, trying to get to the heart of, if you could change one thing, what would you change? What medicine do you need most for your kids? Industry keeps asking this question. I don't have time to tell you how I feel about that, but this is the best way to answer it. So please take this survey. It's a couple minutes of your life. If you're a caregiver of SynGAPian, you speak English or Spanish, take this survey. There's also the Combined Brain Biorepository. We did a webinar on that, webinar 74. If you are anywhere near one of those Combined Brain meetings, please give a biosample. This year is a very special opportunity to share a biosample. I have talked about that in previous episodes, but this webinar 74, is the one you need to watch. If you're like, wait, what's a biosample? Why would I do this? Go watch episode 74. So that's 3 different studies: Philadelphia, the Cornell survey online, and the biorepository, the biosample donation. Do them all. Now, let's talk about some science, because there's some super cool science going on. Mice and flies. Mice and flies. So, massive congratulations to Dr. Huganier and Dr. Araki. One of the very first grants SRF gave. We gave 3 grants. We gave grants to Dr. Huganier, Dr. Rumba, Dr. Holder. The Dr. Huganier grant has been amazing. That's all I'm going to say. And we gave him money to develop an ASO, and he did, and that's been licensed to a company that is currently working on it. And we gave him money to support the creation of patient-derived mice. And he has just released a paper. Finally. I love Dr. Huganier. The science is great. Could have been faster. I know COVID happened, but I still wish this had happened sooner. Anyway, I'm grateful it's happened. There's 2 mice that have been created. They have been fully characterized, and they're heading to the JACs. This is amazing, amazing, amazing. Because, okay, I'm just going to say it. I'm not going to try to explain it because it takes too long. Our kids have a good copy and a bad copy, right? And the bad copy causes a premature stop, and that results in nonsense-mediated decay. So they're assumed to have a good copy and a 0 copy. So in the past, the way they've modeled this in mice, they've just gone and they've gotten rid of a copy, right? Which is the same end state, but a different process. So what Professor Huganier has done is he's gone in and he's found 2 patients and he's actually stuck a patient mutation into these mice. So that whole process happens. Why does that matter? It matters because some of the therapies now are actually interfering in that process. So having patient-derived mice is a huge step forward. And you might remember that we as SRF have been developing patient-derived mice. And by the way, they are happening. We are paying the jacks to develop a couple other mutations, super common mutations. What's going on there? Well, it's taking a long time. But once they're done, the next step will be to characterize those mice, right? So you've got to throw the mice, these little mice gyms, and give the mice little mice EEGs and make lots of mice and beat them up. And then say, okay, this is what this mouse looks like. This is what a sick mouse looks like. Because until you can say, this is what this mouse looks like with SynGAP, you don't know what that mouse looks like without SynGAP, right? These scientists make things really difficult. So Professor Huguenier has published a paper fully characterizing 2 patient-derived mice. Massive, massive effort. And, nothing's ever fast enough for me, but I'm so grateful this is done. And thank you, Professor Huguenier. Also, going from mice to flies, bzzz, Professor Chow is still working on a drug screen for SynGAP. And with flies, this is going to be very exciting. Wait, Mike, we're doing a drug screen with rare base. We are doing a drug screen with rare base. More on that soon. But now we're going to have fly data and rare base data. And if we get a hit from 2 different systems, human neurons and flies, wow, there might be something there. So that's pretty exciting. And oh, by the way, the Chow work is so much cheaper than the human neuron work because flies are cheap and easy and human neurons aren't. So very exciting. We got an article in the some kind of press in Utah, and you should read about that and understand what we're doing with Professor Chow. Very cool work. Very cool work. Love it. All right, events. This weekend, 4 days from now, our $1 Million Bike Ride team, Peter Halliburton, Aaron Harding, I think Callie's going. I don't know who else is going, but they're all going to go to Philadelphia. They're going to do the $1 Million Bike Ride. They're going to raise a bunch of money. If they raise enough money, UPenn will match it. This is what happened last year. We raised $35,000. UPenn threw in $30,000. Professor Heller got the money. Yes. I don't think Professor Heller's a full professor yet. She's probably still a something else professor. But I'm sure she's going to be a professor. She did just get tenure. Congratulations, Dr. Heller. Anyway, Dr. Heller is tenured. That was not in the script. But last year we raised money for the $1 Million Bike Ride and it went to Dr. Heller. This year we're going to raise money for the $1 Million Bike Ride and it's going to go somewhere else because there's a whole committee that figures these things out. But support the $1 Million Bike Ride team. Support the SRF $1 Million Bike Ride team. And if you're in Philly or anywhere near Philly this weekend, go cheer them on. There's a big post party at Dr. Prosser's house. Afterwards, Ben Prosser is the head of the project at UPenn. His daughter has STX-BP1. He also works on SynGAP 1, an amazing human being. Works with Dr. Heller, whatever. If you're near Philadelphia this weekend, go cheer on the team. Go to the post party. You're invited. It's going to be amazing. June 21st, Splash for SynGAP. That's the big annual global SynGAP Awareness Day, June 21st. Yay, SynGAP, because we are in June. Happy SynGAP Awareness Month, by the way. We're in June. Why 621? Because we're on the 6th chromosome at the 21st part of the petite arm. There's a 6p21. 6th chromosome, P for petite, 21st, whatever thing. I don't know what the 21 stands for. There's P arm and a Q arm. It's very interesting, all this genetics. Anyway. And then in August 26th, we have the SynGAP Soiree coming up. So if you're anywhere near Atlanta, Georgia, go there. Last year, we raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for SynGAP research. Tremendous effort led by Suzanne Jones, our board chair. Amazing work. By the way, Suzanne Jones taken over the board from Marta and Pavel. Marta and Pavel were co-chairs for a couple years. They've done amazing work. It was a lot of work. This board takes their work very seriously. They pay a lot of attention. We have some really in-depth conversations. And Pavel and Marta just killed it for 2 years, and Suzanne has come in and taken over and is, as usual, raising the bar. So thank you, Suzanne, for all your work, both at the board and at SynGAP Soiree, August 26th. After August, we go to October. Yeah, October, we have 2 great events. We Scramble for SynGAP down south in one of the Carolinas. I always get them confused. And that's going to be great. That's Julie Miles and Jennifer Roberts, doing a big golf thing. And then on October 21st, we have the first gala led by Nancy Kessler, Karen's sister, in Jersey. So Jersey, the South, Atlanta, also the South. Splash for SynGAP Global, MDBR Philadelphia. Go find an event, support SynGAP research, and get to know some people and build some community. It's amazing. And then after all that, drum roll please, how far over am I? 15 minutes. Pretty good. The conference, the mother of all events, November 30th, December 1st in Orlando, Florida. Pre-registration link is up. Register. Hotel link is available. Get your room now. There is a discounted block. It's a nice hotel. They're all suites. It's an embassy suites. It's really a cool layout. I've checked it out. I have a conference downstairs. It's going to be amazing. I would stay through Saturday or Sunday. We're probably all going to go to SeaWorld or something on Saturday. Just there's going to be a lot of SynGAPians. There'll be people there from Europe, people there from Latin America. Do not miss the conference. Do not miss the conference. Pre-register for the conference. We might even have the registration link up. I don't even know anymore. Book your hotel room, and we've already got a t-shirt link up. So you can buy your conference t-shirts now, so you can show up wearing the t-shirt. You can have a t-shirt. It's got the Fondo logo on the back. It's got the Europe logo on the back. It's got at Cure SynGAP 1. It's got cool palm trees on the front. Get excited about the conference, people. It's going to be an amazing opportunity. If you do nothing else this year, go to the conference. Webinars. We have a webinar in 2 days, June 8th. This was a great piece of research that came out about therapeutic strategies for autism. Most SynGAPians have an autism diagnosis. The rest of them need one. And so this is really interesting work, and we're excited to hear from these researchers about their work on autism. And then Dr. Courtney next week will be talking about SynGAP missense mutations and the work he's been doing. This was work that was started by Leon and Friends in Austria. Dr. Courtney's in Finland. SRF has taken over and continued to support that work. We're really grateful to work with Dr. Courtney. We've since given a grant. I don't even know if I think we put press out about this. We've given grants to 2 other researchers near Dr. Courtney to work with him and do some more work on missense mutations. Very, very cool what's happening in Finland. Check that out June 15th. And then you might have missed recently, Dr. Lacoste did an article or did a webinar about his work. We have started to support his work. That's actually where the money from Blane and Melissa that I mentioned at the top is going to go to this lab. Again, really exciting. Got another researcher who's doing some cool work. He's getting interested in SynGAP. He comes to us. We're like, yeah, we can fund that. Please keep working on SynGAP. That's how this game is played. It takes years. It takes years. It takes us raising money year after year. It takes researchers getting mice, spinning things up, getting fascinated. Go and listen to Dr. Lacoste. He's a really cool guy. Fabulous. Okay, towards the end. In addition to SynGAP 10, the original SynGAP podcast, I have to say that now because more are coming. We have SynGAP stories. SynGAP story number 8, Ashley Fry interviewed Heather Bench, all about Heather's work and Heather's life and Heather's journey with Michaela, her teenage daughter with SynGAP. Got to listen to that. And then episode 9, Lauren Perry, who all of you know because you're part of SRF, talks about her life with Ashley. And Lauren, as you know, is the operations manager for SRF and really keeps things running. That's all I got for you today. There's a whole other conversation I wanted to have, but I need to clear this backlog a little bit. And then I'm going to hopefully release another pod soon about names and stuff. But a lot of exciting news here. A lot of reason to be hopeful. Guys, keep going. Keep going. We are doing so much. I haven't told you about one of the CEOs I'm going to be talking to this afternoon. I haven't told you about the companies that have called us and said, hey, we're thinking about doing this on SynGAP. Would you support it? I haven't told you about a lot of stuff that I can't talk to you about because stuff's in flight, stuff's happening, but there is a lot happening. There is going, the future of SynGAP is really getting better and better. And the fact that SRF is a functioning, reputable, credible, growing, effective, committed organization is part of that. Right? The work we do here matters. It is changing people in science and the scientific and the research and the industry community. They know who we are. They know we mean business, and they're excited about working with us. Keep going. Keep supporting SRF. Keep raising money. Keep talking about it. Get your bumper sticker. Put it on the car. Get the t-shirts for the conference. Come to the conference. SynGAP is part of your life. Make the most of it. Join the SRF community. Let's make the future better for our kids. Thank you all for being a part of this. We really are doing great work here. Take care.